Welcome and thanks for joining me. I'm Cindy Laverty, and you're listening to The Cindy Laverty Show on CRN Digital Talk Radio, where each week we talk about and explore the subject of care, how we care for ourselves so we can better care for each other. So, let's talk about what that message really means. Are we a more or a less caring world these days? What would life look like if we took a little more time to care for ourselves, for each other, for our families, for our jobs? What would life look like for you if you just spent 10 more minutes a day focusing on the subject of care? I feel lately like apathy is everywhere, and we're living in times that are extremely difficult for people. So what would it take to just spend a little more time on the subject of care in your life? Start with you. What do we do? How we treat each other? It all comes back to us in some way. So I just want you to just sort of sit with that as we go through this show today, because I have a very special guest for you. You may not have heard of her, but you will know her well at the end of this hour. Mm-hmm. My guest today is Jeannie Kerrigan, and her book is Layla. It's her autobiography, and I'm going to tell you in advance, it's a tough book to read. It was almost impossible for me as I was reading this book to comprehend the life that this young girl, Jeannie, survived. But today she is a vibrant, thriving woman who helps other people heal their lives. And she's here, and she's going to share her story, and we're going to try to keep it as within bounds as we can. Jeannie, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you since you're not really from California, so
right.
It's nice to have you be here.
Right.
So where to begin with this book? You've overcome the most challenging of circumstances, brutal, horrific, things a parent like I am can't even imagine happening to a child. Why did you decide to share your story with the world? What was the inspiration behind writing this? Because it had to be wrought with pain.
I think that the initial reason why I wanted to write the book is because I wanted to be a voice for other people who are still there. Mm-hmm. I wanted to, there are so many people who, one of my prayers when I go into what I do for my spirituality is I pray for those who cannot or will not pray for themselves. And maybe they don't have the information. Maybe they don't have the helping hand. Maybe they don't have a way to look inside of their own bodies and see what goodness they have inside of them. So I wanted to write the book as honestly and as real as I possibly could.
And you did.
So that they could, so that anyone who picks it up would go, oh my God, this is real. It's not a soap opera. It's not a drama. It's not a trauma. It's not made up. It's not on TV. It's happening to people every single day, every day. Little pieces of what happened to me, big pieces of what happened to me, and they don't have a voice. There was a time when I did not have a voice.
Well, you left home at the age of 14.
12, 13, 14, I started running away.
12 years old, 6th grade?
7th.
7th for you. Okay,
I started school when I was 4.
All right, so still awfully young to be on the streets.
Very young to be off the streets. It was, to me, one of the marks was when my children hit 12.
Yeah.
And I just went, oh, how in the world did I do that? I survived. And I look at my children and I think they would never survive on the streets. So thank God they don't have to.
Thank God they don't have to. Okay, so stay with us. You're listening to the Cindy Laverty Show. I'll be right back with Jeannie Kerrigan. I found the perfect